In today's video, I'm going to share with you a great way to make sure you're clearing your hips to increase your speed. Make sure you check this video out. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video, as I mentioned there in the intro, is all about clearing your hips or opening your hips into impact. So what we see with too many golfers is by the time they hit the ball, everything is pretty straight on. What we tend to see with the world's elite is their body is open. It's a massive power source, the same way as throwing a ball. That way is not going to generate a lot of speed. You do it from side on, you create rotation, massive increase of speed. If this video does help, if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the thumbs up and do consider subscribing to my channel if you're new to it. Also, very quickly, the social media info for me is just coming along the bottom of the screen, well worth checking out on there for lots of other golf content. So today, and I'm demonstrating with this, I'll put my teeth back in with the driver, but it's relevant with any golf club. It's just the driver is the one we're really talking about generating the highest club head speed with, and we really want to see our body unwind and get very open. So I'm going to jump straight into a very simple range exercise or practice area exercise. So if you can push a cane into the ground, now obviously if you're off an artificial surface and you can't get it into the ground, could you put something on the ground like a bucket and then push the tour stick or cane through that? So whatever you've got there handy. Now this distance can change, and I'm going to show you that. The other cane is going to go through your belt loops. So that is the one requirement, is needing some belt loops, and have most of the cane towards the target side. And what I'm trying to do, I've set this up, so I'm going to try and get this cane to hit this cane before I strike the golf ball. So I'm trying to get the feeling of opening up my hips. Now do you know, I filmed a video quite recently, and I had one negative comment on there that said, oh, if you rotate your hips, you're going to spin out, you're going to leave everything way out right to target. And perhaps they're talking about, you know, if we got our lower body way ahead of our upper body on the downswing. You know, we have seen that perhaps maybe 2004's fives with Tiger Woods, although he's still winning a ton of tournaments, where he'd leak his bad shot right to target, and perhaps his lower body is out racing his upper body. Maybe a little earlier than that, actually, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. And what happened is he started just matching his upper body with his lower body. Do I see that problem with many golfers? No. You know, definitely give it a go. We're trying to, as we start the downswing, get our hips to get back to around square, so I call it centering the hips, and then into impact. So from halfway down into impact, we really want to get our body open. And what I see with the world's elite these days is their body is very open, a good 45 degrees open. So the further I leave this cane behind me, the more I've got to rotate my hips, and the closer that cane is towards my lead foot. So if I move it back slightly towards my backside, again, I've got to rotate further. So if you're finding it's easy, make it harder and move that cane further back. But if we can get our hips open, it's also going to help me get my torso a little bit more open. So what we tend to see with the world's elite is the shoulders appear to be relatively square, but the torso is around 15-20 open, and the hips maybe 45. And what we see with the real long hitters is more than that, hips up to 60 degrees open. So I'm just going to move the ball off the tee actually and just try and hit the tee peg. But I'm trying to get this to turn into that before I strike the tee. So it's trying to open up my hips. Now yes, it does take a little bit of sequencing. You know, and initially, if you're turning your hips quicker and you haven't responded with your upper body, you may leave that face open, but a little bit of range practice. Not bad. I'm sort of striking that tee peg at the same time as this, so I need to try and feel it even more. I've made it quite tough here, so I've got to really get my hips a good 45 open, which is tough for me. I'm not the most flexible, but this is a great training exercise that I want to feel like centering the hips, turning the hips open, and it's going to allow my club to start to exit a little bit more inwards. It's going to take out some of the hands release and turn into more of a body movement. So again, try and hit that cane. Let's exaggerate this one. That was feeling like I almost left my arms up at the start of the downswing to sequence my lower body better. Now what I'm not looking for is that lower body movement, a slide towards the target. What I'm looking for is a rotation, so my lead hip is kicked in a little bit. It recenters itself, that pressure is applied towards my lead foot, and as my hips open, you'll start to see my lead leg would start to straighten and extend, so it's really allowing my body to rotate open. Let's try it with a golf ball. Like anything, when you're trying it, first of all, try not to worry about the results of the first few, but let's try and get that sensation. We could always do a Matthew Wolf and almost get that feeling of what it's going to be like to open up my hips. You can see I've made this tough. You can make it a little easier. Well, I was talking myself into hitting a bad shot there, and I've split the fairway. That was really, really solid. Good concept, very happy with that one. Let's try one more. So, really trying to open up those hips into impact. Give it a whirl. Well, I'm happy with that one as well. So one middle to left half of the fairway, one middle to right, but the important thing is they both hit the fairway. Take both of them on the golf course, but I'm trying to get that feeling of clearing my hips more open through impact. So just using a couple of tour sticks or canes, whatever you can get your hands on, is really going to help you clear your hips. Clearing your hips allows room for your hands and the rest of your body to keep rotating. Yes, it may take a little bit of time to sequence, so don't worry about it. First of all, on the driving range, you take it to the golf course once you're happy, once you're comfortable with that timing sequence of the lower body to upper body. But if we can clear our body, we're definitely going to increase our speed. As I said at the start, if that video has helped, make sure you hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel.